If you create content online, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, podcasts, anything, someone can build a fake version of you right now. They can put your face in ads you never agreed to, your voice on a product you've never used, your name on content you never made. And by the time you find out, they've already profited from it. In 2023, a deepfake of MrBeast, the most subscribed individual creator on YouTube, was used to run a fake iPhone giveaway scam. It spread across multiple platforms before it was removed. He had no warning, and he had no easy legal recourse. If it can happen to the biggest creator on YouTube, it can happen to anyone building an audience online. And it's getting worse. Deepfake incidents have surged. Over 3,000 documented in a single month as of March 2026, up from just 4 tracked incidents in March 2020. McAfee's 2025 research found that 72% of Americans have already seen fake celebrity or influencer endorsements. Scammers are now targeting social platform creators just as aggressively as they targeted Hollywood celebrities. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how AI deepfakes are being used to exploit content creators specifically, which laws exist right now to protect you, where the laws are falling short, and what the legal landscape actually looks like for creators trying to fight back. Quick note. Everything I share on this channel is legal information and commentary, not legal advice for a specific situation. If you need legal guidance regarding your situation, reach out to a licensed attorney in your jurisdiction. With that being said, I'm Stevie. This is Girl Code of Law. Let's get into it. Let's get specific about what's actually happening because the threats to content creators are different from the general deepfake problem that you hear about in the news. There are 3 primary categories of deepfake exploitation for creators. The MrBeast case is the clearest illustration of the first and most common category, fake endorsements. Someone takes your face, your voice, or both and creates content that makes it look like you're promoting a product or service that you've never touched. For MrBeast, it was a fake iPhone giveaway. For other creators, it's been cryptocurrency schemes, investment platforms, weight loss products, and supplement brands. Your audience trusts you, and that trust is the asset being stolen. McAfee's first ever influencer deepfake deception list placed Pokimane, one of the most well-known streamers on Twitch and YouTube, at the very top of that list. The list is not just celebrities anymore. It's creators, people who build audiences on authenticity and parasocial trust. That trust is exactly what makes a deepfake valuable to a scammer. The second category is impersonation for fraud. Fake versions of creators are being used to approach brands, negotiate deals, and collect payments that never reach the real actual creator. Services that create deepfakes have made this accessible to low-skilled attackers. You don't need technical expertise to steal a creator's identity anymore. A few dollars and publicly available tools can generate a convincing enough fake to deceive a brand manager over email or video call. The third category is non-consensual intimate imagery, and this one is growing at an alarming rate. Creators, disproportionately women, are having AI-generated explicit content created from their public-facing videos and photos, and then distributed without their consent. In 2026, influencer Ashley St. Clair filed a lawsuit against xAI specifically, alleging that Grok generated and distributed explicit deepfake images of her across the X platform. What makes this case significant is who she sued, not an anonymous bad actor, but the AI company itself. That legal theory that the platform bears liability for generating the content, not just for failing to remove it, is what's being watched closely by creator attorneys everywhere. What all 3 categories have in common, your public content is the raw material. Every video you post, every photo, every audio clip is potential training data for the next deepfake. The more content you create, the more exposure you build, the more raw material exists for exploitation. That's the particularly cruel dynamic for creators. Growth is the goal, and growth is also what increases the risk. So what legal protection do you actually have right now? let's go through what currently exists. The most significant recent development is the Take It Down Act, which passed federally in May 2025. It targets non-consensual intimate AI-generated imagery, the third category that I just described. It requires platforms to remove flagged content within 48 hours of notification and creates both criminal and civil liability for people who create and distribute this kind of content. Before this law, platforms had no federal obligation to act quickly on this kind of content. Now they do. The civil liability component also gives creators a potential path to sue. This is valuable because it creates precedent for stopping deep fakes. The second tool is the right of publicity. This is your right to control the commercial use of your name, image, likeness, and in many states, your voice. If someone is using your deep faked face to sell a product, that is potentially a right of publicity violation. New York, California, Illinois, and Tennessee all have strong versions that explicitly cover synthetic media and digital replicas. The problem is that right of publicity is entirely state law. There is no federal version. Copyright is a third potential angle, but copyright has limits. Copyright protects your original recorded content. If someone directly copies your videos to generate a deep fake, there may be a copyright angle. As we covered in our voice cloning video previously, copyright protects the recording. It does not protect the characteristics of your face, your voice, or your on-camera presence. Here's the part most coverage gets wrong, because the protections sound more comprehensive than they actually are for the majority of creator deepfake situations. Think back to the MrBeast fake iPhone giveaway. That deepfake was commercial. It was fake endorsement content designed to defraud his audience. The Take It Down Act does not cover that at all. It covers intimate imagery, not fake ads, not brand impersonation, not fraudulent giveaways using your face. The most financially damaging and the most common category of creator deepfakes falls entirely outside the federal law that just passed. The right of publicity does cover commercial use of your identity, but it requires proving two things: that your identity has recognizable commercial value and that the defendant used your identity commercially without permission. For smaller creators without established brand partnerships, proving the first element can be harder than it sounds. Deepfake as a service tools, where someone can create a convincing fake of you for a few dollars, are a recent development. The laws that exist were largely written before this technology was accessible to ordinary bad actors. So the honest picture is this: creators in states with strong rights of publicity have more meaningful protection against commercial deepfakes. Creators everywhere have federal protection against intimate deepfakes. And for the fake endorsement, the brand fraud, the AI-generated content that steals your face for a scam, but isn't intimate and isn't in a protected state, the legal landscape is still catching up. That's the gap MrBeast couldn't close easily in his case. And it's the gap most creators are operating in right now. But I'd like to propose an interesting solution that I think has real potential. Where the law could get it right is considering deep fakes as derivative works under copyright law, because they are entirely derived from another person's copyrighted material. Derivative works are the sole right of the copyright owner. Creating a derivative work without consent is copyright infringement. But a derivative work is actually the vehicle for fraud in this case. The fraud is the impersonation of another for commercial gain or value. That fraud is a more meaningful crime than just copyright infringement. And furthermore, the engines that allow the generation of these deep fakes is an unauthorized fraudulent derivative work that could be considered a part of a syndicated crime operation, which is a RICO violation. That approach could stop deepfakes in a meaningful way by seriously criminalizing the activity. But the platform hosting the deepfake material also plays a role, albeit not one that constitutes fraud. So here's where the platforms like YouTube actually are right now. In April 2026, so just a couple weeks ago, YouTube expanded its AI likeness detection tool to actors, athletes, creators, and musicians. The tool works similarly to Content ID, which is YouTube's existing copyright protection system. It scans for AI-generated content that uses your likeness, your voice, your face, and flags it for your review. You can then request removal. This is a meaningful development. Dr. Mike, a physician turned YouTuber with 14 million subscribers, told CNBC he reviews dozens of AI manipulated videos a week featuring his likeness promoting dubious health supplements. YouTube's detection tool gives creators like Dr. Mike a structured workflow. That time advantage matters because reputational damage compounds quickly. But here's the part that most people aren't hearing. Enrolling in YouTube's likeness detection tool requires uploading biometric data, a digital replica of your face. The CEO of creator protection platform Lodi told TechBuzz he would not recommend clients signed up under current terms. His concern is that by linking your name to your biometric facial data in Google's systems, you could actually be enabling more sophisticated deepfakes down the road, not just stopping them right now. For most creators, this is not an ideal solution. The honest picture on YouTube's tool is that it gives you better visibility and a structured removal process, but it doesn't guarantee removal. On the Meta side, Facebook and Instagram, they launched a content protection tool in November that automatically detects when a reel similar to yours appears on the platform. As of March 2026, Meta is testing enhancements that add impersonation detection specifically, not just content theft, but fake accounts posing as you. That is actual enforcement at scale. TikTok has implemented both detection systems and disclosure requirements for synthetic media. Content creators can voluntarily tag synthetic content, and the platform has automated detection running alongside that. TikTok's approach is currently more focused on labeling and disclosing than on active removal, though that is evolving. The summary across all three platforms is that they are building tools and those tools are getting better, but none of them are a guarantee. These platforms are responding to a crisis. They are not yet ahead of the crisis. After watching this video, here's what you now know that most creators don't. You know that AI deepfakes are being used against creators in three specific ways: fake endorsements, like the MrBeast iPhone scam, impersonation fraud, and non-consensual intimate imagery. You know the Take It Down Act gives you federal protection for the third category, intimate content, but not for the first two. You know the right of publicity is your strongest legal tool against commercial deepfakes, but only where strong state versions exist because there is currently no federal equivalent. You know where meaningful deepfake restriction could occur on a federal level if the government were to approach a deepfake case under the theory of fraud of impersonation via an infringing work, and viewing that as a syndicated crime operation occurring between the creator of the fraudulent material and the engine that generates it. And you know what the platforms are building to try and protect creators. If this video was useful, please share it with a creator in your circle and subscribe, because this is exactly what I do. Break down the legal landscape so you can build within it. I'm Stevie. This is Girl Code of Law. I'll see you next time.